So I want to share with you something that it is very important, especially because nowadays the word Kundalini Yoga, they have become quite famous, so to speak, in the spiritual field, and people are attempting to do this process, which is actually quite a dangerous one. And I want to share my personal opinion on this because I actually had a personal experience about it. I don't know if it was due to the qigong practice, I don't think so. It probably was due to my deep spiritual interest and my kind of spiritual practice, so to speak, let's call it, that I live by, basically. But I want to discourage actually people from pursuing this kind of goal of this awakening of this energy. I actually didn't believe that it really exists, such a thing, but it is actually very scary and very powerful process on a psychological and physical level, especially if you're not prepared with it. And I tell you very honestly that if this process happened to me, would have happened to me, I don't know, 7 years ago, maybe before practicing qigong, so having a daily routine of something that really works and really grounded me and helped me to grow to a certain degree. Of course, growing is endless, but if it would have happened 7-8 years ago, I would probably have gone crazy. And as I said, I didn't believe in this kind of Kundalini Yoga because I saw many Kundalini Yoga classes and people doing crazy stuff, and I didn't see any kind of change. I just saw people doing crazy breathing and rituals, whatever it is. But it is actually something that it can happen, and it is something that it is totally out of your control. And I hope that it doesn't happen to you, or if it happens to you, it happens in a moment that you can deal with it in a proper way, or you have somebody who can help you with this. Because after ever experienced something particular, maybe I will share it in the second part of this video. I had the feeling that I had to research a little bit whether I was going crazy or something was really happening in my life. So I did a very, very, very little research about this Kundalini thing. When I say very little, I mean really very little, because of course we know on the web how it is, a bunch of information with lack of clear resources, valid foundation most of the time. So I just found something and I just read the symptoms of this kind of awakening of this Kundalini thing. And basically I had all the symptoms and all the suggestions to deal with it actually were most of the things that I thought I had to do, such as stopping certain powerful practices and focusing more on grounding stuff, grounding in daily life and grounding exercises and all the rest of it. But going straight into it, because maybe this video can be helpful for you, because I talked also with Shifu and reported this, and he told me, wow, you're quite lucky actually, because some people sometimes come to me because they had this experience and they are completely messed up. They don't know how to deal with it. So I mean, you're doing quite well. So I changed city. I moved to Chiapas in San Cristobal. I'm still in Mexico. I went up on the mountain because I felt that I had to deal with something. I didn't know what it was. And basically one morning I just woke up and I started to hear like breath going on, and that's my personal experience, because talking to Shifu and reading actually is not something common. Some people sometimes hear sound or frequencies, which I had actually, like very high pitch frequencies happening, not only during the practice but during the day in moments of quietness. And I had this sound pretty much the whole day. So this breathing, I thought actually there was a spirit or something like this in the beginning, because we have a limited understanding of life, and in the qigong path actually we explore like a tree, planting the roots down. We go vertically up, but we go even higher from where all this kind of other beings and possibility exist. They are kind of in the middle, from up there and from down here. Let's say from the sky and the earth, or whatever you want to put in terms of names to this explanation. But it was quite a scary process because, you know, having all day and constantly this kind of sound perceived in space clearly, it was a little bit of a crazy thing. So I tried to resolve this process by first engaging with this. I thought it was an entity or something in a very in the beginning scary way because I didn't know what to do with it. I couldn't sleep. It was waking up at night, and I said, okay, let me. What can I do for you? You wanna enjoy my quietness? Stay here, enjoying it, whatever. If you're suffering for something, it didn't work. I think maybe because I had some fear inside. I don't know, because I didn't know what it was, how to deal with this. As I said, the practices that we do, they kind of point straight to the source, so to speak, or with this, but there's no difference. At the end of the day, we don't go middle way. We don't do medium stuff or this kind of path, and they are not interesting for me neither. I prefer to go to the beginning of everything that getting messed up with all the rest of it. So explaining a little bit my experience, because maybe it can be beneficial. Because sometimes people come to me in a very scared condition, or even just writing to me, oh, can you wake up the Kundalini, or I'm having some kind of Kundalini experience. I don't know what it was in my case, but according to the symptoms and what I read, that was it. And even talking to my teacher. So one of these symptoms was actually hearing sounds that were not present in space for various days, which is kind of psychotic state. That's why I said it's quite profound even for the mind, you know, to deal with this. Yeah, sounds, frequencies in a very strong way. Feeling of being overloaded at some point. I think also what was due from the fact that I couldn't sleep. I will tell you why I couldn't sleep in a second. But feeling overload from everything, basically from sounds and everything around you. Vision-wise, things changed. Color were more vivid, and my vision already changed a little bit a while ago, because when you do some kind of work, even the way you look at the world will change. So what you perceive in terms even visually might change. I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to influence anybody here. And when I couldn't sleep, when I was lying down in bed, the heart was beating super fast and the energy was out of control, basically. I had a very strong headache. Everything was concentrated here and sometimes in the lower dantian area, and I couldn't do much about it. Worm coming up and down, which I'm at the level that I'm in the moment, in the path, I don't perceive this kind of imbalances anymore. Everything is kind of more steady in terms of chi refinement. So those kind of sensations, anyway, they were different, but the cold and the hot, they are kind of not perceived that much anymore. So lying down in bed and not being able to sleep because there was this uncontrolled flow going up towards the head, and having the head open, so to speak, for many days. I'm coming back to life right now, so to speak. When I mean right now, it has been a few days already that, you know, I'm back on planet Earth in a more solid way, sleeping well and being able to rest. But what else? I actually felt that it was the case to stop my Fai Chi practice for a week, 10 days, whatever it is now, and more focus on physical stuff, Shen Gong, Yin Ji Jin, some exercises actually with the body, doing a little bit of Japanese karate even, because that was the solution, I mean, at least for me. But this process lasted for several days, I would say more than a week, 10 days, and actually led me even to move to another town, to buy a ticket and to change town, to deal with it, believing in the beginning that it was actually spirit in the house or something that I didn't know how to deal with, so time to leave. You know, if it doesn't want to leave, I leave. But actually no, that perception came with me, and then I started to deal with it in a better way. And in my case, what was really helpful was being earthly engaged with the word, which is something that sometimes I don't do. I just live like an eremit. I do my stuff, but you know, focusing on the hands, feet, eating well, enjoying food, enjoying sensorial stuff, things from the senses that brings you back, so to speak, into the body. But as I said, it is a very tough psychological and physical experience that for sure I cannot even put into words properly into this video, that I don't know where it's going to lead. I think some good stuff will come out of it. Already feeling good. So, but for somebody who's not prepared to this, I think you can really get crazy, because psychosis looks like around the corner, because it's really beyond what a normal untrained person can do. So with this video I'm trying to a little bit discourage people from going straight into this experience, which I thought that was actually not real, but it can happen. I don't know if it was due to my, of course, energy level. That's the reason why I stopped practicing, because you know I said let's not put more energy into the body, not shake things up, because otherwise I won't be able to stop. But a normal person going through this, I think, can have a really tough time. I don't know even if he's gonna be able to be back. I feel I'm quite lucky that it happened now. I wasn't interested into it, but I'm reporting this little experience, few things that I experienced to you, so that you can think about it. Again, because sometimes I receive this kind of messages, can you waken up my Kundalini? Or some people trying to do this kind of stuff on their own, or even with some teachers, but be sure to be with somebody qualified, and be sure to be prepared, because you can screw up your life. And as my teacher told me, some people have reached him up to say, help me, because you know they were really in bad condition. So I hope that you can, I don't think it is something actually special. I'm not special, nobody is special here, but it is something for sure that you know, it's beyond our control, so to speak. So we can just do things to help integrate this blast back into our system. So I don't know if you have any question, but if you can take one thing from this video, is just be careful. It's a dangerous process and it can really mess up your life. This is what I'm trying to say with this video.